All right. So we're doing something totally different today.
Totally.
Totally different.
Totally
All right.
rad, man.
So can you see Shaun on the
I
screen?
do.
All right. So here's Shaun Clarida. His best look by far. Good God. But I'm going to point out some things that my eyes saw. So one, God, he gave Keon a run for his money. But
Mhm.
here's where my performance chiropractic can help posing. So if you look at his right to his left, how his right side is pretty locked up, especially in the lat and in the shoulder.
Freeze it when you get to the point where it can be, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Right there.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yes, I
And do you
do.
see that? Yep.
That's because I had the same thing.
Correct. As soon as he opened up when I was watching the pay-per-view, I was like, oh
If
man.
you'd only come down to
Yeah.
Houston and come to let me work
I
on
know
you.
I
Yeah.
find this kind of content a little cringeworthy, but I ran it by you and two other people of like, is this even appropriate? But obviously the most muscled person, mini Ronnie Coleman, there was another shot where you could see it. But yeah, him and Keon had a great battle. I don't think
Mhm.
anybody thought he was going to give Keon as big of a run for his money. Again, you
Yeah.
could see it again, right? There's a difference. It's a little bit more pronounced on the other shot. But I see this enough, right? I brought this up in another physique critique we did, and then you're like, oh, I didn't even see that. But because I
Yeah.
do this in office, so people get the gist of it, right? Am I back to just me?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to go, what has happened? So we're going to go to my anatomy chart. All right. So here's a couple things. He's got a locked lat, right? But more importantly, he's got a locked up teres major and a locked up subscap. So teres major, we've talked about it. It's just could be as thick as a bicep. This is a major muscle that could really limit what's called upward rotation of the shoulder, which is taking this part of the shoulder blade and pushing that hook upwards, which is really important for shoulder health, shoulder function, and posing. And then this muscle here, his subscap, that's what's really binding up his lat. So there's the lat, there's your teres major, there's your teres minor, but that's getting all super bound up there. So I would have actually wanted to work on that because when the subscap and the lat gets tight, you can't flare the lat out, you can't upwardly rotate. Then when that happens, your body knows something's going on. And then this muscle called your levator scapula is going to start tightening up. When this tightens up, Shaun is not broken, not fragile. He is amazing, right? I am not doing this to call shade. I'm just saying this is how the body works, how you can improve posing. This is going to get tight. When this gets tight, well, look how it attaches to the shoulder blade. It's going to be harder to flare your lats, right? So that compresses things. Then your rib cage, when I quit sharing my screen, will show how the rib cage will start to compress from this. Okay, so I would want to work on his levator. I would want to work on his upper trap because you can't separate them. And then other muscle that really matters for rib cage mechanics and shoulder blade mechanics, because yes, your rhomboids, because I would want to work on that. And then this guy, your serratus posterior superior, I find is really preventing a lot of people from getting awesome rib cage expansion and all that. So what do I mean by rib cage expansion? So you with me so far?
Oh, yeah.
So
Listening intently, be honest with you.
rib cage takes, as an educated meathead, I want to be doing everything I can to recover from each training session. Rapid reboot compression therapy is one of the tools in my tool belt that I not only use in just my office, but myself after every single leg session, and it really makes a difference. Use my promo code Dr. Marvin Says to save money on any of the compression systems. That is definitely Dr. Marv approved. Change shape based on muscle tone, how we breathe, blah, blah, blah. Because Shaun is so damn muscled, like arguably the most muscled person per square inch in the history of the world, he's already going to be compressed front to back, right, in his rib cage, which will change things. But with that levator being tight, then it's going to start to compress other parts of his rib cage, which makes it harder for his shoulder blade to move. So
Where
it's
are
a
you,
mix.
by the way? You disappeared.
Am I?
Yeah.
On my screen, let's see. Can you see me now?
No, just me.
Interesting.
I'm a little thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's like you took away the anatomy chart and there's nothing but me in a tiny little there you go.
Okay.
He's back.
Right. Yep. So with Shaun being crazy in all aspects, right? His rib cage is going to be compressed front to back. That'll make rotation and being able to present himself on those twisting shots harder. And then with the levator being chronically tightened, that's going to start to compress other parts of his rib cage, which will make it hardest for his shoulder blade to move. So it's like 1 + 1 = 3. So if you're a bodybuilder with this issue, right, we need to work on, well, I'll do his arm. We got to work on the armpit. So the teres major, the subscap, the lat, probably the scalenes a little bit will probably be tight. There's probably a breathing issue there. Levator, trap, work on that. Get the rib cage, right? So you'll be doing rib cage breathing drills. You're going to be working on serratus anterior activation, right? Because that's your bodybuilding posing muscle. If you take nothing from the segment, start working your serratus anterior. That is so important for posing and shoulder health.
How?
So booty band wall walks. That's my starting start. I do a couple other things in office, but that's the one I will give. That's one of the more impactful exercises I could give anybody. And if you have shoulder complaints, when I took a world-renowned international sports chiropractor's shoulder course, she said strengthening that muscle resolves 80% of chronic shoulder pain. I think that number is a little high, but it shows its importance. And we know in a study, it is the most undertrained muscle in the upper body. And that is how you do your lat spread. So you better believe. So what was really cool is Skip coached a first-time competitor, and I did the performance chiropractic for a first-time competitor. So that was a cool blending. You better believe he had specific drills to do backstage before he pumped up, addressing the rib cage, addressing this stuff, because he had the same issue. It's relatively common.
Yeah.
But
to what degree is the difference?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it just shows how all of a sudden this can kind of spiral out of control and you're doing everything right. And you just need a little bit of outside help. So hopefully that puts some stuff on people's radars. That's what I spot with my eye, which is good and bad. Cause then I was so fixated on it. I actually couldn't even remember his posing routine. So I had to rewind the pay-per-view. Cause I was like, yeah.
Yep.
It's Holly will be like, quit analyzing people walking by. I know that's what you're doing. I'm like, I know I can't turn it off, but start working on that. It can make a massive difference for posing, for training. But yeah, super common. So hopefully you have something to look at and know what to do moving forward.
Good information. Good information.